I was on a sales call today, and it was a terrible experience. And I get on a lot of sales call, by the way, because with what I do, I'm looking for options. You do not know who I am. You do not need to know who I am. If you are in sales, this video is going to help you, right? But like with what I do, I have a high ticket offer, and I'm looking for providers when it comes to different stuff. So today I was with a provider, right, who offers the ability to send message, right? Because I run a webinar, and so I send text message reminder, right? But they offer the ability to send message with iMessage, so you get the blue bubble, right, which increase your reply rate. And they charge a lot, right? They charge $1,000, and the sales rep was terrible. All right, was not a good sales rep at all. And I've been like in these last few days, since I'm trying to find options when it comes to like a lot of different stuff, because running a funnel like this, running these kinds of offers requires, like, there's a lot of moving parts, let's just put it this way, right? And so you might need different stuff for different things, right? And it was like, and I'm going to tell you why it was a bad experience. It was a terrible experience because the sales rep sucks, right? And selling is not something that is hard, right? Once you understand the concept, like the structure of a sales call, it's not hard. But one of the things that you need to understand is you need to understand the psychology and how the people that you are, the person that you are actually trying to sell to is thinking, right? And there's a lot of people that sell to the same, like that sell, doesn't matter the psychology of the guy, they sell the same way. I'm a numbers guy, right? So you cannot just sell me on a dream. Like, you need to show me that the numbers make sense, right? For me to actually buy. And so here's how the conversation went. And I'm going to break down how it went and what should have happened for me to actually move forward with them. Because, like, spoiler alert, I said no, right? I said no, like, it doesn't make any sense, and I explained why it doesn't make sense. And the sales objection did not make sense at all, right? So the way it went is the guy started to ask me questions, and he was asking me, like, what kind of numbers do you want to reach by actually using this? Why do you want to send message with iMessage? Then I said, like, I answered, the reason why I want that is because you get a higher response rate. Like, I assume you get a higher response rate. And I said, I assume you get a higher response rate. I assume I can increase show up rate to my webinars and show up rates to my, I can just talk to more prospects, right? But I said, and he said, like, he asked me, like, oh, like, what kind of increase are you looking at? Like, are you looking for, right? And I said, like, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out, right? So this is why, like, you're the expert, you tell me, right? Like, you just tell me, like, what can I expect, right? And he said, oh, he started talking, he did not really give me an answer. But then he said one thing, and this is why you should actually educate your sales rep, right? When it comes to different kind of offers, right? Because, like, my webinar has a 30% show up rate, right? Which is actually super decent, which is actually like better than average. Okay, having 30% of the people actually showing up for your webinar is actually a really, really good number, right? And it's not the first time that I get people that do not really know how a webinar funnel works, right? That try to get me to sell me stuff that say, oh, that's pretty low, that's not terrible, that's actually a super great number, right? It's not easy to actually get higher than that, not at all, right? It's not something that is common either. It's not common at all with a webinar that you schedule for a specific date, all that stuff, right? And so, like, that was the first red flag for me, right? But still, like, what I want to figure out pretty much is, look, is it going to be worth it, right? How much am I going to need to invest? Because I'm using something for text message, right? To send text message reminders, to be able to communicate with prospects and all that stuff. I'm sending message, right? So I'm paying something. So am I going to pay more? Am I going to pay less? What is it going to look like? So I can determine if it's actually, like, going to be worth it for me. And that was the thing that I was trying to figure out. Like, if it was going to be worth it for me, right? And the first thing that did not really work for me is that I was not able to know like how big of an increase I should expect. And I actually ask the guy, I say like, look, you're the guy, you tell me, like, what should I look like what should it look like, right? And so the guy said, yeah, it's like you can expect a 10% increase, right, at one point, right? And I said, okay, 10% increase, like, so what would it do for you? And I said like a 10% increase, because like people play with numbers without understanding percentage and like try to manipulate numbers, right? A 10% increase, if you're at 30%, does not mean that you go to 40%. A 10% increase in the Sharpe rate, which would mean that I go from 30% to 32%. So it's pretty insignificant, right? Especially at the scale I am at. It's not like I get thousands of registrants every single day. So it's not something that is going to move the needle a lot, right? And so he tried to rephrase it like it was not going to go from 30, but from 30 to 40, but let's say 8, and he said 38%, all right? And so like we broke down the numbers, and it was like, yeah, so right now I'm going to make an extra $1,500 a week, right? If I actually do this with these numbers, with an 8% increase. But the thing is that when you sell something to somebody, there's a couple of things that you need to that you need to actually convince the person to, right? The first thing is you need to convince the person that the vehicle that you present to them is the vehicle that they need, right? And that it's what is going to work, right? Which was the main thing that I was not convinced of, right? Because you can tell me 8%, how do I know that this is going to happen, right? And the second thing is like the internal beliefs, which is like, okay, so like, you know that with this vehicle you can actually do it yourself. And then the third one is external belief, which, you know, like doesn't matter in this case. But yeah, like the main thing for me was like, yeah, okay, so you're telling me that it's 8%, that's great, but like I don't know if it's going to be the case, right? So I need to know the price to see if it actually makes sense. And we got to the price, and you know, you don't ask the price on the sales call because like people don't want to say the price, especially when it's high ticket, all right? Which is not really an high ticket product, but like whatever. And so they did reveal the price, which was $1,000, okay, to be able to use them. And it's a flat fee, okay? You don't pay per text message, don't pay for that. And I said like straight up, like, look, for what you're offering, like $1,000 is not worth it for me right now, okay? But eventually, yeah, when we'll get there, when like $1,000 is going to make sense, yeah, it will make sense. But like, and like the thing is that people try to play with like the fact, trying to get you to put you like to corner you and say like, look, $1,000 is a big deal. Like, it's not like it's a big deal, but like I have better place to invest my money because I'm not convinced of the vehicle, right? And I don't care. Like, if you really have money, you do not really care about a broke ass salesperson actually telling you that, hey, look, are you broke? Because like I said straight up, like, look, yeah, but I don't have infinite money, so I'd rather invest the money in ads, right? I'd rather invest the money in ads, and I'm going to have a better return, right? Because if I get sales right now for $400, $500 of ads brings me one sales at $3,000. Putting the $1,000 in ad is going to give me like $6,000, right? I'm gonna get $6,000 back. So yeah, and then you know, he was trying to talk to me about ads, that stuff, that you reach a point where the returns diminish. I'm not yet at that point, right? So I'm increasing. So the thing, the main reason why this sales call was bad, and the main reason why this sales call, like this guy was not able to close me, is because he did not understand that his product do not meet what I need right now. And it's not the thing that is going to make the most sense for me right now to invest in. Like an extra $1,000 in ad is going to pay me back way more money than just that. Except if you can actually show me the numbers and tell me, look, here's people that are doing the exact same thing that you do. Here's a case study. Right? Here's a case, because like I told him straight up, like, look, I don't know that. You're telling me 8%, I don't know if it's true. And he said, then it's rebuttal to that. It's the way he handled the objection was like, and what if it actually does? Like, what if it actually does 80%? Like, what if we actually get you 8% more? I said, what if we do? What if we don't? Like, what the fuck? What if we don't? If it doesn't, I just waste time because I just spent $1,000 with you, right? And I could have put that money in ads and have way better returns and scale my business faster. So what if it doesn't? Yeah, I know that you can potentially increase the Sharpe rate. I don't know by how much. This is what I need you to tell me. And I need you to show me that you can get there. Like I told, and I told him multiple times during the call. It's like, because you know, it does, like, salespeople suck. Like closer, there's like most closer sucks, right? Because it was like, he was trying to make me believe that this was going to give me 8%. I said, I don't know. Like, show me that it's going to do it. Like, show me the proof, right? Just show me that it's going to do it. I don't know that. Show me people that do the exact same, like, because he kept mentioning names. He kept mentioning like Tai Lopez users, this person users, this person users. Yes, that's great. All business are not at the same level. A 1% increase in the reply rate, a 1% increase in the shop rate is worth more than $1,000 a month for them. It's not for me. So if it's a 1% increase, it's not going to do a lot for me. It's going to be worth it at one point, but right now, like, I'm paying $200 for my text message, like my text messaging. I'm good, right? And so that's mainly it. Because, like, to be honest, the only, like, this guy could have closed me, right? If you show me, hey, look, we help people that do the exact same thing as you, that were running webinars. They kept the same exact sequence. The only thing is that they used our tool. And with using our tool, they had a 10% increase in the number of sales, right? A 10% increase, like it impacted their bottom line by that many percent, which is that much in dollar, which makes sense to pay us $1,000, right? The only thing I'm trying to make sense here on the call myself is like how much money I'm going to make with this. And I don't need hypothetical. I need to have proof. I need to see this whole thing. And how much money like people were able to make, like what the numbers look like, so I can crunch the numbers and see if that makes sense. When you deal with, because like if you deal with unsophisticated buyers, like you can get them to buy like emotionally, right? It's a business process. I don't buy like emotionally. That's not what I do. I crunch the numbers, right? Because I want to make sure that this is the best place to invest my money. And I come from a place from understanding that the money that I have is limited. There's no such thing as unlimited money, right? Nobody has unlimited funds. So you look at investing money where it's going to give you the best return, right? So right now, of course, if it's $1, like it doesn't make sense. But like for me, $1,000 a month is a lot, right? It's a lot. It's not a huge amount of money, but it's significant. Right? Because putting an extra $1,000 a month in ads is going to give me great results. I know I haven't reached the point yet where I'm at the point where, okay, so I maxed that out. What is the next best thing? Right? And even if I'm at that point, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to try to think, okay, what is the next best thing? What is the thing that I can actually improve in the process right now? That the ads are kind of maxed out, right? There are something else that I need to improve to be able to scale the ads and with higher cost per acquisition, still use other things. Right? And yeah, to be honest, I'm on a lot of sales call. I've been on a lot of sales call. Most salespeople suck, right? Like I understand that there's a structure, there's all that stuff, right? But it's a simple problem. My problem here is simple. I don't want to make more money. I need to understand how much more money I'm going to make. I don't need hypothetical. You do not need, like, don't try to sell me on a dream. If the numbers make sense, look, if the numbers make sense, let's just do it. If they don't, if it's hypothetical, if you're just selling a dream, yeah. Because for me, like a 1% increase is not worth it. And it was like, what do you think the increase is going to be? I don't know. You are in this business. You're selling this shit to people, so tell me. People running webinars, what does it change for them? Right? So yeah, guess what? I'm just increasing my ads. Not doing this just yet. Eventually I will do it. When $1,000 will not be as much of a thing if I'm investing to something that I'm not sure of. If for whatever reason I can actually be sure that this is the best way to do it. And there's 2 providers that do this. So talking to both anyways, right, to get the best results. Yeah. I know that you don't know me. I don't even know if you're going to see this video. If anybody's going to see this video. I'm not this guy. Alright? See you later.